I'm Chris Maru, bringing you the Texas Monitor Week in Review. The Texas Attorney General's office is setting its sights on a giant Texas law firm in a voter fraud investigation that centers in Tarrant County, the Fort Worth area. In documents being used by state investigators, the law firm Linebarger, Goggin, Blair, and Sampson is alleged to be at the top of a chain of command in an elaborate scheme to harvest mail-in ballots for a cadre of candidates around the county. At issue, tens of thousands of mail-in ballots in elections are purported to have been signed by the same person in violation of state law. The elections with the suspicious ballots were largely in local races, including those for Fort Worth Independent School District trustee seats. While the voter fraud accusations are unproven at this point, the fact that any investigation of this nature includes a massive, well-equipped law firm is rare. Governor Greg Abbott has described this probe as the largest voter fraud investigation in Texas history. That's not the only voter fraud investigation in the works in the state. The Texas Secretary of State's Elections Office wants the Attorney General to open a criminal investigation into voting in 3 municipal utility districts in Montgomery County, connected to their use of temporary voters. Residents in this county just north of Houston allege that voters were paid to reside in and vote for the creation of the municipal utility districts. Folks like these are labeled rent-a-voters for obvious reasons and are frequently housed in temporary dwellings, sometimes a single trailer on a vacant lot, though we hope a better one than this, arranged by the developer to make them eligible voters. The voters then cast their ballots as dictated by the developer, sometimes voting on millions of dollars worth of bonds, making big profits for the developer, attorneys, and other power brokers involved. The call for a criminal probe comes in the wake of investigations by Texas Monitor reporters and other media. The special legislative session is coming to an end in Austin, but a possible challenge to House Speaker Joe Straus is just heating up. The House Republican caucus will meet this coming Thursday to discuss and possibly adopt a plan to pick the next speaker all by themselves without Democratic help. The scheduled meeting appears to be a success for the Texas Freedom Caucus, a small group of House members who have not been happy with the moderate path the Texas House leadership has taken and asked for the meeting. They want the Republican members of the House to choose the next speaker rather than the full House itself, which would include votes from Democratic House members. This would also appear to be a nod to the Republican Party of Texas, whose members at last year's convention in Dallas voted their desire to have the Republican speaker candidate to be chosen by the Republican House caucus. Texas Republican Chairman James Dickey spoke to the Texas Monitor and said, "The Republican caucus having a meeting to decide the rules under which they would do such a vote seems like a perfectly appropriate and necessary step toward doing what the platform asked to be done." With an October 23rd court date looming, a criminal defense attorney is appealing a federal judge's ruling that disqualified him from representing State Senator Carlos Uresti in a fraud case that some have likened to a Ponzi scheme. Attorney Michael Watts was disqualified by a judge last month who said Watts had a conflict of interest because he previously represented a woman identified as a victim in the case against Uresti. Well, even if Watts loses his appeal, he and Uresti will still be working together on the Democratic state senator's other criminal charge. Uresti from San Antonio was also indicted for allegedly using his consulting business to split $850,000 in bribes with a former county judge in West Texas Reeves County. That's the town of Pecos. That trial is scheduled for May. For more government accountability news around the state, go to texasmonitor.org. You can also follow us on Facebook at Facebook.com/The Texas Monitor and on Twitter @The Texas Monitor. I'm Chris Maru.